and today is all about Hendrix style double stops. I got a request to do a double stops lick of the day, so here you go. But before we get started, if you like what you see, by all means, please share the video far and wide. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and click the bell to be notified when the new videos come out. Okay, so let's go over a couple of the major chord shapes and how you play licks, right? I'll give you kind of the lick I played in the beginning. This is how I came up with it, are from these kind of examples. So if we're taking a major chord with the root on the low E string, I like to think of it as our major pentatonic. So in this case, A major, since we're doing an A chord, position 2 being right underneath it. Okay? Now when you analyze this, a number of the strings have, you know, spots in the same frets, right? So I can double up, right? And that lets me do stuff like that, okay, where I'm sliding both the notes to a fret and both the notes back. But what that also does is it allows me to hammer onto one of those frets and let the other one ring. So in this case, if I'm going E and B, I can hammer on to the 7th fret B and let the E 5th fret ring, and that gives you a sound like this, right? Okay, so that's the top 2 strings. When you get to the G and the B strings, you can hammer on to the 3rd. Right, and keep in mind, this is all licks on the front side of the chord, right? This more on this area. We're gonna get to licks on this area in just a second. Okay, so double stop that way where you're sliding in the same frets. Then there's also the hammer onto the string above and get that sound. Now you can do that here on the G and B. It's gonna take more of a shape of a D chord now. You're gonna hear stuff like that and like axis bold as left. And that's a really popular move where you'll use your thumb and then you catch the root here. So what I'm gonna do is 4th fret, 5th fret, and then I'm gonna hammer onto the 6th fret G, let the 5th fret B ring. And then I'm gonna grab with my pinky the root on the 7th fret D. And then come back and so by doing that, we've hit all the chord tones, right? So right there we hit the 5th and the 3rd, and then we're gonna hit the root. Sounds great, right? So those are the things I like to think about on the front side of the chord. We've got the B and E strings, where you can do double stops like that. And you got that same kind of slide, where you can do that kind of a thing where you slide that whole thing up a whole step and back, and then maybe hammer onto the 6th fret while letting the 5th fret ring. And then maybe catch the root there or here. Okay, so that's the front side of the chord. The back side of the chord, if we're going to relate it to, you know, pentatonic playing, you have position 3. Right, so that gives you all the... Now, this you can do a number of ways. You can just not really do a double stop and just use that 3rd position in the notes on the lower strings, single lines. But when you start doing double stops, it sounds killer too. So you can go, right? And in that case, I'm grabbing the G and the D and hammering on to the 9th fret, right? You can do that same thing on the next 2 strings. Same thing on the next 2. And then back. So you can go. Right? Any kind of combination. There's the ones where it's like the quick hammer on. Or a hammer on. quick, all the same frets. Right, or you can do that too, just slide up. So you can go. Right, so. Now that is for chords with the root on the low E. The A chord, right down here, or roots with the, you know, imagine the chord looking like this, like if you had to actually fret that open A string. Or let's just change to an E chord, right? So here's the E, because I did that in the beginning. Like, I just go and think of that same thing we did on the A and this part of the chord, the backside. Exact same thing. Where I double up. Now if I do that, I'm kind of thinking of the major pentatonic behind it. So, right, pretty cool, yeah. So that's kind of how I think of chords with the root on the A string. Now, chords with the root on the D string, you know, say we're up here and we're hitting the A chord, right? Because if you were at a D chord, to play the root, you know, if you had a 0 fret, you'd be going like this. So I find the root on the D string, and then I go up and make my D chord shape. And that's where you get, you know, all those cool. And that kind of shares, if you know the cage system, the D shape of the chord, and there's also that kind of C shape, right? Same chord, both A chords, right? Root is on the A, make a C chord shape, and then this one's the D shape. Get the root on the D and then make the D chord shape. And you get those cool kind of licks, right? So here's my A chord. And I'm going to hammer on the G and the B. And since I know this C chord shape, I know that that's a legit note. And I just walk down the pentatonic scale. Or you can be slide into the third position and then go down into this A. You check that out. See, I love that kind of stuff. If you start thinking about these chord shapes, right, and how they're chained together with the pentatonic scales, right, we think all about this in the lead style, right, getting all those cool licks, but it works freaking amazing in rhythm too. So that's how you kind of go over an A-shaped major chord on the E, with the root on the E. I'm sorry, that would be an E shape. E shape, and then the A shape, right? We'll take the E, so you can, using the A shape of an E chord. Right, and I think of the position 1 of that major chord behind it. All right, and then the D, right, the D shape of the A chord, or the C shape, right? And you can, right, you see that I'm playing the G string too, but I'm walking down. Right, you can do that kind of stuff. And that's just taking pieces of those chords, like the A chord. You're taking the 5th and the 3rd. And then, right? So that's, you know, how you kind of... that is how I think about Hendrix stuff. When I found and I applied the cage system and the pentatonic scale, the major pentatonic scale, to those major style chords, when I was learning a bunch of Hendrix tunes, and I was like, how is he doing this? Like, what is he doing? And then I stumbled upon that. I'm like, oh my God, it's that simple. Not that simple to write that good of a song, or like try writing Axis Bold as Love, or Bold as Love, we should say, or any of those songs, right? And he does this for minor chords as well. So we're going to do a lesson on the minor chords next, and we'll also kind of do the double stops with lead playing as well. So this is the rhythm lesson. It'll have its major double stop soloing counterpart, and then there'll be a lesson on the minor chords and how to do the minor licks soloing both lead and rhythm as well. If you like what you see, again, make sure you share the videos and subscribe. Also, there's links below. Always check the links below. There's brettpapa.com. You can check that out. So I'll post stuff over here, brettpapa.com, and the subscribe and videos over here. I got a bunch of videos to go over all this kind of Hendrix stuff, so check those out as well. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the continued support. We'll catch you next time.